Hi y'all, what's the tea? It's Mikey, and this is a series review for the new series by Capcom, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. There are currently 4 Resident Evil adaptations. We got Resident Evil Degeneration, then we got Resident Evil Damnation, then we got Resident Evil Vendetta, and finally we have this new TV series, which is 4 episodes long, about 20-something minutes each episode, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. And it stars Claire Redfield, Leon Kennedy, newcomer Jason, Shen Mei, and a few others. Ashley Graham from Resident Evil 4's father, the president, President Graham, is also present in the series. And a lot of people die. There's blood, there's gore, there's guts, there's ripping, there's tearing apart, there's bone snapping, there's zombies, there's just everything crazy. I got my Cleon shirt. You can't really see it, but a little backstory really quick. They're both the 2 main characters in Resident Evil 2, which Claire happens to be Chris Redfield's sister. Chris Redfield is one of the main characters of Resident Evil 1. And Leon is the newcomer in Resident Evil 2. He was a police officer, first day on the job. And Claire and Leon meet in the Raccoon City incident. Leon is dominating in these animes because he's literally the only character that's been in every single one of them. I love Leon, I really do, but I also really want to see Jill, especially with Claire. The Jillaire team needs to seriously become a thing. So this film is gorgeous. The film is so beautiful. It is just so like gorgeous and just epically created. I just really loved every scene, every shot was just so gorgeous. I love the dialogue in the series. I think that it was extremely strong and I really appreciated the hard work that went into the dialogue and the voice acting as well. Wow, Claire, she is just such a badass. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She's my favorite fucking Resident Evil character. My second favorite character is Hunk. But Claire Redfield, she is such a badass and she's so caring and she's just such a beautiful soul, and I'm just so happy that they stayed true to her integrity and her character. They were very faithful with Leon as well. He was very, very much Leon here. It was amazing that the creators of this decided to really stay true to the characters. Shen Mei, she was look-wise and personality-wise, I would say she was like an Ada Wong mixed with Claire Redfield. If you're not familiar with Ada Wong, she's just this badass character in Resident Evil. She's really, really tough. Jason's character was, to me, somewhat likable at some points, and then after a while, he started to kind of get on my nerves, not like in the bad way, just like he's just a dude, you know, just like a hothead, I guess, and like this like oorah kind of person. I mean, he's military, he's a major in the US Army, so there was a sense of mystery here, and there was a sense of me wanting to get to the very end to get all the answers that I needed, and the pacing of the series helped it keep it going. I wanted to get to the end, like I said, to get my answers, and I loved when I got them. When it comes to the Tyrant final battle sequence, usually there's a self-destruct system that has a timer, and it's usually about 2.5 minutes, and it's going all the way down to 0, and the characters have to escape before that timer goes off. If not, they all die. But this was really cool because it took its own unique take, which I won't tell you what it was, but it was a nice and fresh way of making sure that it wasn't really doing the same thing that most of these games do. Not all the games do it, but a lot of the Resident Evil games, at the end of the game, the motivation to survive and beat the game and escape or whatever is a timer that eventually, once it hits 0, there's going to be an explosion. So this one had a very unique take to that, I think. I had so much emotions, especially when the Cleon scene happens. I was just squealing and I had like kind of some tears escape, but I held them in. It was nice to see the Claire and Leon segments, especially this one specific segment that I just did not see coming when it comes to Claire and Leon. Just to give you a little backstory on that one. Claire and Leon are friends. They're not in a relationship or anything like that. They're not lovers. I know people ship them. I don't really ship them because I ship more Leon with Ada. If not, I would give my boy Leon to Claire, but it was sweet to see this one particular scene between them. I really felt the emotion there. I won't say what it was, but you'll know because I'm sure you're gonna feel the same thing I felt. So, oh my god, it was so awesome to see Claire and Leon back together again. It was just so great. I mean, we just kind of got them in Resident Evil 2 Remake, but it was good. And honestly, I would love to see Claire with Jill. Oh, Jillaire is my dream team in Resident Evil. Hopefully Resident Evil 9 is smart and decides to fucking put these girls together. The rat sequence was really fun and it was really smart, the direction that that sequence goes in. Gosh, Leon looked so handsome. He looked so good. Claire looked so gorgeous. I just couldn't get my eyes off them every time they were on. I was just looking at every single detail of their face. They were so perfect. I love them. I love their interactions. I love their chemistry. It was just a perfect Resident Evil Claire and Leon iteration. There is a theory that I was very right about. I'm not gonna share the theory because if I say the theory, it's gonna just probably give you some spoilers regarding who the main tyrant was gonna be, and I was completely correct. Yeah, it was badass. The badass moments you get, they were badass. I really enjoyed it. There was tension. Thank you, Claire, for being a badass as well as always. As far as the costume department goes, they kept true to making sure that Leon stayed with the dark blue, Claire represented for the red team. I just really wish that they went with something a little bit more fresh for Claire's outfit. I felt like it was just too Resident Evil Revelations 2 Claire Redfield. The jacket was completely different, and this time around her button-up didn't have a collar like how her button-up shirt did in Resident Evil Revelations 2. It had a collar, and her jacket was more so looking like a blazer in Resident Evil Revelations 2, and there was not that much detail to it. It was just a blazer, right? And some jeans and some dark booty heels. Now this time around her outfit was somewhat similar, but it was different, but it was to me still too similar. I think it was more in the similar side than it was in the different side. I mean, she was rocking the red, that I appreciated. She had a button up, but it didn't have a collar, and her red leather jacket had more detail to it, and her boots were combat boots with laces on it. So it was a little different, but like I said, it was still a little too similar for me. I really wanted Claire to at least have a fresh look. I feel like her past 3 iterations have been pretty similar. Resident Evil 2 Remake was a little similar, Resident Evil Revelations 2, and then now this one, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, Claire Redfield official look were to me all pretty similar. As far as the roster for the creatures goes, there's actually only 3 kinds of creatures. I would have wished for a more grand roster. The roster was very, very minimal in this series. This is probably the most tame anime continuation of the video games, but action-wise, not so much suspense and horror and story and drama. I think that it was pretty in line with making sure that it held its own. I think that the action wasn't 100% there as much as the other animes have been. I think music-wise, it was absent. There wasn't really much tunes or official tracks from this series that I can honestly recall and go back and listen to and enjoy, or say that, oh my god, that was a badass track. It was just pretty standard stuff for me, in my opinion, to be honest with you. Kind of how this is structured is, it's just mystery, 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 and then finally, when we get like to that climatic situation, it's pretty relatively isolated. I thought at some point in this, there was gonna be some sort of boom, and I'm not talking about like explosion-wise, I'm talking about like, I thought this was gonna get really crazy. Like I said, this is a pretty tame season. Maybe season 2 is gonna be a little bit more free with exploring that boom that I'm craving and want, and what I thought I was gonna get out of this. I am so glad that I watched this on opening day. It is available on Netflix as we speak, so go ahead and check it out if you've got Netflix. I would have so been down to seeing this in theater, but it's a series. If there is some way, somehow, a Blu-ray of this, I do plan to own it. I do plan to go and get it the first day. I am definitely gonna rewatch this again. I can't wait for season 2. I would recommend for you guys to go see this and let me know what you guys thought about it. Overall, I give this an 8 out of 10. Good luck, take care, and peace.